Ikem Ekwonu plays the game of football like he wants to annihilate the guy who dares to line up across from him. His ability to dominate players in the trenches at the point of attack separates him from the rest of the class. I spoke to some NFL scouts and one of them called him the most feared lineman in college football. Another told me he would not be surprised if this offensive tackle ended up being the first overall pick. Regardless of what you may think, we are going to thoroughly analyze the 6'4", 320-pound junior offensive tackle, and we are going to focus in on 3 parts of his game that really separates him from the rest of the class. We are going to focus on his run blocking, his processing, and his strength. With that being said, let's get right into his run blocking because that is easily his best trait, and NFL teams will absolutely love it. Now, what separates this tackle when it comes to run blocking is that initial power. Getting out of his stance, he delivers this huge blow, and it really shows on tape. Ikem Ekwonu is very powerful. When he pulls, when he gets out in space, he delivers this huge blow. But it's not just the power that I appreciate, it's the backside blocks, the front side blocks, the ability for him to understand where he needs to put his hip. And that's what really separates this offensive lineman from everybody else. See, sometimes the little things like just getting to a spot and hooking your guy is just enough to win a block. You don't always have to put someone down. On this next play, you're gonna see something similar. He's going to double team with the guard and then get up to that next level. But he knows exactly where he needs to be to make his block. He doesn't make it overly complicated. He just knows exactly where to be. And he seals it off and opens up a big lane. Run blocking is such a simple task for offensive linemen, but the great run blockers really separate themselves from other offensive linemen in the league. Even when he needs to reach to the inside, he does a great job by putting his body in position. On plays where he's backside blocking, and truth be told, his best asset may be backside blocking, and as an offensive tackle, backside blocking is very key, especially for those teams that like to run those outside stretch or inside zones. Offensive tackles have to be able to cut off the defensive tackles in that 3 technique, or even if a defensive tackle is lined up over a guard. And sometimes if a defensive tackle's in that 1 tech, you might want your offensive tackle to be able to reach and be able to get there. This offensive tackle has shown that he can do these things. To wrap up his run blocking, Ekwonu is probably the best run blocker coming out of this class. He's nasty, he's physical, he's tough as nails, he's just a strong guy. But don't let how great of a run blocker he is deter you from realizing that it's not just the run blocking, but the way he sees the game of football. His on-field processing probably, in my opinion, is what separates him from everybody else. Processing is such a key part of playing offensive line. Let me show you guys a couple of examples. Out of the picture to the right here is a corner who's showing blitz. So the offensive line is going to slide to the right of the screen, slide towards that corner that is showing blitz. Ekwonu is going to slide out there, realize that that corner is not blitzing, instead he drops back into coverage. Then he's going to see that the defensive tackle and defensive end are slanting to the inside, and number 47 is coming on a blitz. Now this blitz would have worked with 90% of offensive tackles, but Ekwonu is quick enough to process that 47 is coming and that corner off screen is not. He's going to then pick up number 47, and then his skill set kind of takes over, right? That strength and physicality that we've kind of talked about, and he puts 47 down. This is one example of processing in game. Let me show you one more. On this next play, you're going to see a tackle end stunt, which means the defensive tackle is going to go first. The defensive end is going to try to loop around. And 79 sees it and he passes it with the left guard perfectly. They're able to shut this down. Now, these defensive games are pretty typical in the NFL. So if you're able to process this in college, you'll be able to process this in the NFL. But most people are able to transition that speed change from college to the NFL. Now, finally, I want to talk a little bit about his strength because he really has this punch that displaces defenders. Whether it's in pass protection or running out on screens, Ikem really has a hard punch. And I really believe this is one of those traits that teams are going to love to use. Think about all the creative ways that a team can use that punch. Whether it's to push a guy upfield, whether it's to pass protect and really just punch the defensive end right in his chest, or maybe he's just going one-on-one with the defensive tackle in a 3-4 and he's just pushing guys out of the way. Ultimately, the strength that this tackle shows on tape cannot be measured in the weight room. I'm not sure exactly what Ikem Ekwonu benches, I'm not sure what he squats, but I can guarantee you it does not measure his actual punch or his play strength on the field. And just to wrap things up, I absolutely love this offensive tackle. From pass protection to run blocking, he really has this rare combination of skill that you don't typically see in offensive tackles. Now, in my opinion, he is a little bit raw. There are some things that he will have to work on, but ultimately, this is my #1 offensive tackle coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's the #1 overall pick, or at least the first offensive tackle taken. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with another video.